guys, so doing kind of an impromptu live here. Don't know how well this is going to work. My signal is not great. I'm outside of Planet Fitness trying to sponge off of some Wi-Fi, but I wanted to talk to you guys for just a few minutes about something that came across to me that's super important. So I had one of you reach out to me today, in fact, and it kind of halted everything that I was doing because of what I was told. Now, again, I'm not sure how this is going to work. I'm going to try to take you guys back out to the van now that I've gotten onto the Wi-Fi, but we're going to talk for a few minutes. Something really bad happened, and I think it's important that we talk about this, and I would be irresponsible if I didn't address this after someone came to me. There will be no names mentioned on this because it's not my place to tell these individual stories, nor do I have all of the information about the names of some of the individuals involved. However, this is something that needs to be said. And again, I'm trying to get you guys back out to the van because we tapped into some Wi-Fi. Signal's not great today. It's very overcast, as you can see. And I'm just trying not to get rained at or looked at funny because, you know, I'm at the gym. So, put you guys here. And I'm gonna within the travel question because it's not my problem, it's not my business. However, so oh no, hang on guys, oh no, I wonder if I can move closer to the building. We're gonna try to do that. Give me a second, guys. Issue. Because this is important, but they have very little amount of space here at the Planet Fitness on the outside, and there are no benches. So, let's see. Is it any better here, guys? We have moved up to the closest parking spot that we can get to next to the building. A little bit better. Okay, good. So we're just going to sit right here next to the building and hope for the best. Okay, so what I was saying is a woman reached out to me today. Again, I'm not going to name any names because it's not my place to tell their story, but I do want to address this as a whole. She said to me she purchased a mentoring program about how to do YouTube. And there are lots of them out there. Some are legitimate, some are not. This person purchased something from a person in the van slash travel slash bus space. I don't know. She said that it was a content creator who does what we do. They charged her $600 and they basically sent her a copy paste of what is already available in the YouTube studio. Yeah. So with that said, I have thoughts. First and foremost, I feel really sad for this woman because she's out $600. It's not okay. Whoever scammed her, shame on them. I don't know who it is, but shame on them. If you happen to be knowledgeable of a person who charges $600 for mentoring, just beware, buyer beware. If you are wanting to do YouTube, there are several things that you can do on your own to create a YouTube channel. I've been on YouTube for 6 years. When I first started YouTube, I just went on a mad journey of research. There's tons of videos out there to tell you everything from how to shoot, how to edit in whatever software that you have, and then also how to upload, how to tag, how to do all of those things. Why is the audio off? No! Hang on, let's see if this fixes it. A bit better. Did the audio come back? Struggle buses. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. So, long story short, person purchased program from creator. Creator scammed person. It just is what it is. She's not getting her money back. There's no way. She's already pursued this. In desperation, because she watches my channel, she reached out and said, hey, what would you suggest that I do to start a YouTube channel? So today I created a few tips. There's 10 tips on there that I posted on my community tab. Those are free tips. You shouldn't have to pay for those tips. Those are based on my experience. And as a person who cares about you guys, I wanted to share those things. They're small things, but at the same time, they're a good baseline for someone who's just starting out. I think that anyone who wants to do YouTube can do YouTube. It's not an exclusive kids club where you can only be a certain kind of person. You can only be a certain look, a certain kind of vehicle, a certain kind of channel. You can do YouTube if you want to do YouTube. You just have to start the channel, and then as you go, you grow. You know, if you go back to my earliest videos, they are not great. But it's because as I kind of went along, I was learning as I went. Now, there are some things that I can tell you that will avoid some of those headaches for you as a person creating content. For example, don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses. If you see a channel that has 4 million subscribers, don't expect your tiny little brand new video to get the same amount of views as a channel that has 4 million subscribers. You're brand new. It's okay. Nothing is wrong if your video, even though you put a lot of energy and effort into it, does not get the same amount as this big, huge channel. Now, YouTube has changed a lot over 6 years, and in these changes, there have been a lot of trends that people have chased to get a little bit more success. Right now, for example, a lot of people are writing the shorts because they know that it's growing their channels because new eyes are seeing their channels. However, seeing the channel is only part of it. Keeping the people watching is the bigger thing. And so you have to bring a unique perspective and voice in order for people to want to continue to engage with your content. It doesn't do you any good if you have 4 million subscribers if only 3 of them watch. It just doesn't. So keeping subscribers going is super important by bringing people along for the journey and keeping them along for the journey. So if you're a brand new channel and you're trying to be someone that you're not, they're never going to be invested. They're just not. It doesn't work out. So one of the things that I would encourage you guys to do, and you'll see on that little list over on my community thing, is be you. Always be you. There's one of you, and you bring a unique voice. You are the only person who has your eyes and your vision. So if you're trying to do your style like someone else's because you like elements of it, that's one thing. However, if you're trying to copy paste their format, guess what, guys? If they have 4 million subscribers and they're doing that format, and then somebody sees your video and is like, huh, this looks really familiar, they're still going to watch that bigger channel, and they're probably not going to watch your channel because then they're going to be like, oh, why would I watch this if I can watch the OG? You know? So I've seen a lot of people falling into those traps as of late. But this email today just kind of put me over the edge because I was like, wow, somebody is profiting off of selling somebody hopes and dreams. That's what that is, hopes and dreams. If somebody's selling you a get rich quick, it's not real. If someone is trying to get you to sign up for a program so that they can show you how to have the keys to the kingdom of YouTube, it's not real. I mean, even some of the bigger guys out there who are well versed and have a resume, they're not doing exactly what you want to do, then their format might not work for what you're wanting to do. If you're wanting to create travel content and they're creating tech content, their approach is going to be different than your approach. Does that make sense? For those who are just joining, this tirade has begun because I received an email today from a woman who got ripped off by a mentorship YouTube program. And shame on this person, whoever it was who ripped this woman off, because they made her invest $600 for a literal copy-paste document from YouTube. That's it. Not okay. Not okay. And to some people who are like seeing this probably on the replay, you're probably saying, oh, well, she should have been smarter. But at the same time, if you're trying to do something and you have good faith, especially if it's in a creator that you've been watching for an extended amount of time, which she did mention she had been watching this person for a while, then you trust that person. And so it's a responsibility to the people who are having the channels to realize that people do trust you. And so you need to make sure that you're not just like scamming them. Like, really, I think the vast majority of creators do not want to do that. I think that most people try to be super honest. I know that they try to share what's going on in reality, but especially for people who are just wanting to start out, who don't have any skill in YouTube, content creation, videoing, editing, anything like that, there are a lot of people out there who do prey on those people. And so if you are a person who is watching this currently and you want to start a YouTube channel, do not pay someone just to start a YouTube channel. That's like an MLM. Don't become the customer. Become the person who is paving the way. And I know that that sounds scary and terrifying and hard, but even if you have absolutely zero skills, you can start a YouTube channel. You don't have to have the most elaborate editing. You don't have to have the fanciest music or anything like that. You can just start off being genuine and being yourself, and that's going to hold more weight than all of the extra stuff. And then you can add the extra stuff as you go. I'm gonna take a breath now and take a drink because, wow. I really don't like it when people get ripped off. I really don't. It really bothers me that people exploit others. And this is a little crazy, but I think you can see it just really bothered me. This particular woman who reached out to me, she's been following my channel for a couple of years, and she's been really interested in doing this. She didn't want to inconvenience me by asking me a question. And I realize sometimes it's hard for us to get back to people because as we're on the road, signal's not great all the time. Like for example, today, I planned out my videos all the way up to next Tuesday because I did not know that I will have signal until next week. It's just kind of how it is. But I do try to get around to people, and I know sometimes that people just feel like it's too much, and I get that. And at the same time though, if you're going to a creator who's selling a dream and that dream doesn't align with what you want to do necessarily, don't do it. Don't do it. Also, there are so many free resources out there. Whenever I started looking into things, I reached out to creators across the board because I was trying to figure out a few basic things. And I probably reached out to 20 or 25 creators, realistically. One responded. And I'm still very thankful that he did. It was Jamie from Enigmatic Nomadics. He reached out and just had very basic, simple answers, but that simple answer answered the question, solved the problem, and it made me feel so much better that I was on track. And at the same time, I didn't ask him 50 questions as to what to do next or anything, but just that short conversation said, okay, I can do this. This larger creator has given me hope. And it wasn't that he gave me the golden ticket. He didn't sell me a program. He didn't do any of those things. Instead, he just was kind. And I think that there's so many people out there who are just good resources, who are kind. And some people create content for absolute free because they're kind. And I think that we need to look into those resources versus spending a ton of money because, you know, even though you might see somebody and they may have a large following, they may get a ton of views, that doesn't necessarily mean that their advice is going to work for you. Does that make sense? Hello. I'm just going to catch up with everyone real quick and then we'll continue on this for a second. No problem. That's literally my goal. So much of what I do is education based, and so I know that there's a lot of people out there who have no knowledge of YouTube, and I think that that's why it's super important for us who do to every so often just speak up and say, hey, you guys can do this, like you can. And it shouldn't be about a competition. It shouldn't be about like who can have the biggest video or who can have the most clicks, because in reality the most clicks doesn't always mean the most like content help to others. You know, you can see, for example, I know within the van space there's like a bunch of tours. There's tons and tons of tours. If everybody tours the same vehicle, at some point that vehicle no longer has the same value to others who are visiting the channel. Does that make sense? So I think that's why it's important to have that variety in there. However, tours are a good resource because you can find out how to build things, what people are doing, stuff like that. So it's just about the balance of the structure. But let me give you an example. Okay, so say that this right here, this bunny puppet, say a whole bunch of people review this bunny puppet. A whole bunch of people. Like say 100 people review this one bunny puppet. Now, if everyone is saying the exact same thing, you're going to be more led to believe that this bunny puppet is exactly that. But if one person speaks out and says something slightly different about it, you're going to be intrigued. Or in some cases, you're going to be like, I wonder why they said something different. But that's going to have value because it's a different opinion. The 99 don't have less of an opinion. I mean, they all said the same thing, but the problem is because they all said the same thing, you're less likely to watch all 99 videos. Does that make sense? It's the same thing with all of our content that we create. If everyone says the same thing all the time, it's no longer got a resource or value. And so if you're modeling your content off of someone else's and you're choosing to put together content that looks exactly the same or sounds exactly the same or has the same perspective as someone else, then at some point that doesn't have value to the viewers. So instead what you do is you say, hey, I have this bunny puppet and these are all the cool things it could do. Everyone else said, hey, it's brown, hey, it has a black tail, but I'm gonna tell you, hey, it's brown, it has a black tail, and the ears do this. And I'm gonna make it more fun because that's me as a person. I'm a fun, weird, crazy person. Be yourself. I think that that's the biggest thing is if we stop competing against each other and start adding more authenticity to things, there's more value for the consumer who is enjoying the content, the people who are watching. We're all consumers also, after all. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I am a consumer just as much as I am a creator. You guys are consumers as much as you are creators in many cases. So whenever you're getting out there, if you enjoy watching something and you want to create content about that thing, don't let somebody else tell you, oh, well, that's not popular. Or don't let somebody tell you, oh, you shouldn't do it that way. Or don't let somebody tell you, this is how I do it this way also. Because unfortunately, that's what's happening a lot more. And because of that, people are scamming people, like the poor woman who was scammed and sent me an email. So that was a good rant. I'm gonna breathe a minute and read some more of these things. Do I need to some sort of stuffed animal? Absolutely not, Uncle George. Although if you did, a bunny is the one that I would suggest, definitely, because everyone in the chat right now, my Uncle George is in the chat. Everyone say hi, George. Absolutely, Tina, that's the thing. If you are being your authentic self and you are doing what you are doing to share your story, I think that that's the best thing. It's not necessarily about just one specific thing, because you have a very different journey than someone else does. And that's what's really incredible about YouTube, is we can see all of these different journeys and engage with all of these different people from different places, different backgrounds, different styles. And we can thoroughly get to see more of what life actually looks like. And I think that that's what's important, instead of it just being like the same video with 47 different thumbnails. Just saying. Let's see. The Jurassic Park music is back. So what happened, for those who are just joining in because the room has grown? This morning I was working away at Starbucks and I received an email from one of my followers who's followed me for a while, and she basically got ripped off by someone offering a mentoring program that was not legitimate mentoring program. They scammed her for $600. She was very defeated. The email, again, I'm not going to share her specific email because that's her story, but I'll tell little bits and pieces. She basically, she's feeling very sad. Super sad, because the community that she's enjoying, that she's embraced, now has kicked her basically, and she didn't know who to reach out to. She's tried to pursue something with getting her money back. It's not working. It's a dead end. And so because of that, she was just feeling very hopeless. And so I wanted to definitely come on here and talk to you guys, because I think there's a lot of people who do feel hopeless when it comes to starting YouTube. And at the same time, you don't have to be. You can do it even without having the biggest budget, the biggest camera, the biggest resources, the most travels. There are some channels out there who literally only do lives. There are some channels who literally play games all day long. There are some people who review the weirdest things that you will ever find. I do reviews for things that make sense in van life, but at the same time, you'll find people who are just like, look at this hairbrush. This is the best hairbrush I've ever used. And they do reviews because they truly, genuinely enjoy like hair care. It doesn't have to be that you're coming to a van channel and that you have to do a van channel. You can do whatever makes you happy, and you could just enjoy the content that you enjoy. But if you do want to do like a van channel, you don't have to match somebody else's energy, somebody else's style, someone else's look. You don't have to be the typical skinny girl in a bikini. You don't have to do any of those things. You can be you. And that is the biggest advice that you can have from any YouTube creator, is just being authentic. Because like, if you do go back to those older videos that I did, I was afraid that because I'm a lot, that people would not want to watch me. And then whenever I started to figure out that I was okay with just being myself, and that if people didn't want to watch that, that's okay. I lost a few people and I was okay with that. But I gained a whole bunch of new people because people enjoyed the authenticity of what I was saying, how I said it, and how I am. Now, I understand I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I talk with my hands a lot. It upsets people. I also use a variety of different vocal ranges because I get super excited about things. That is me 24/7. So if someone can't handle it, then my channel's not for them, and I'm okay with that. And that's the thing. Like, you have to be okay with who you are in order for your channel to find that group of people who are also okay with you. And then there's still going to be people who send you nasty messages and just think that they're wonderful, amazing people out there who just can hate on people, which makes zero sense, but we'll get to them in just a minute because there are several of them. But I wanted to, more than anything, talk about this with you guys because There is no reason to, 1, fear YouTube, 2, feel like you can't do it, or 3, let somebody else tell you how that you should do it because you aren't worthy of getting 1,000,000 likes or 1,000,000 clicks or being a channel that has so many people. In the grand scheme of things, a lot of people look at my channel and they're like, oh my gosh, you have so many followers. I am a tiny fish in a great big pond. I still am a very small channel. And in comparison to like a 1,000,000+ channel or a 2,000,000+ channel, I'm like a blip on the radar. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy what I do, put out quality content, and work my butt off. Because I think that it's super important. Again, I did put some tips over on my community tab. They're free. There's 10 tips on there, all of which have been from the School of Hard Knocks. The first one on there is about the music. That is a more recent discovery. When I first started out on YouTube, I used a lot of YouTube music that was provided on the site, only to learn that now a lot of that's gotten bought out by contracts. And guess what? Copyright strike, copyright strike, copyright strike. YouTube is interesting sometimes because it changes so frequently. So some of those tips are like that. I also gave you some suggestions as to where you can find some things that a lot of creators are using. I know that I use Epidemic Sound. I know that Riley uses it. I know that Van City Van Life uses it. You know, I think that there's resources out there for all of us, and sometimes it does cost a little bit to use stuff like that. However, when it comes to like your camera, you can use your cell phone. You don't have to buy a $1,000 camera. You can if you want to. I have several cameras, but it's not because I have to have them. It's because I enjoy the art of creating. And so over time, I've kind of evolved because I have bigger projects and different projects and things I want to do. But did I have to? No. No, I did not. There are lots of creators who use their cell phone every day. Dee, for example. Tons of people love Dee, Lady Bug Out. She uses her cell phone, guys. Like, you don't have to have a big old huge whomping camera. A DSLR is nice, but you know, at the same time, it's not a necessary thing. Yes, they do have a library now, and they're supposed to be perfecting that. However, I've had a few friends already who have said they've gotten copyright strikes on some of that music as well. So until they iron out the details, that is why I'm not suggesting YouTube Studio to anyone. Just because it's just problematic. Then you have to go in and write a letter saying, no, I got this from you. And then YouTube has the burden of proof to prove that you got it from them, and that can take days. In the meantime, your video just kind of stalls out and people don't see it. And if people are especially trying to grow, avoiding anything that stalls out your video is important. Now, for anyone who doesn't want to create YouTube videos, this video today is probably like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Why is she having a meltdown? But at the same time, for those of you who do, which I know is a large grouping of people, today was just kind of like the breaking point where I was like, we must speak. And I have to go to Wi-Fi to do this. Another thing that I did want to address, which I kind of touched on a while ago, is the hateful, nasty, gross people in the comments. Now, as your channel gets bigger, you get more and more nasty comments, just because it's the nature of the beast. When you get bigger, then that just kind of happens. I woke up one morning to interesting death threats. I've woken up to people saying really nasty, not okay things. I have woken up to people saying any variety of things that are insulting to me, which I could care less, really. But I've also woken up to people insulting my friends, or saying mean things about van people, or saying mean things about history, because I do a lot of historic content. And to that, I would like to say this. If you are a person who's watching this video right now and you do not like me, that is okay. I do not care. I don't. I really don't. I'm not losing sleep over your nasty opinions. I'm not. I wake up every morning happy and ready to go, and your tiny little blip of a moment where you decided to express nastiness toward me, my friends, or someone else doesn't matter, unless it's threatening, in which case I will be the first to admit if you've threatened physical violence to a person, if you say something that is racially motivated, if you say something that just outright sounds like it could be dangerous, screenshotting it, sending it off to the FBI. Do not care. Do not care. I want everyone who is watching this to know it is not okay to threaten others in my comments. My channel is a safe space for everyone. If you don't like something, that's okay. We can have a healthy debate about it. But the minute that you curse, it's removed. My mother watches my channel. We don't use those words. If you say anything political, We don't do politics here on my channel because that's just a hot topic for people to just argue. And when they argue, it just turns into a bad situation. And that's not what my channel is for. There are lots of channels on the internet for that. And if you want to go to one of those, you can. That's fine. But if you're here, we like to learn and get brain wrinkles and have fun and enjoy ourselves. And we provide a safe space for everyone to see that the world is this amazing place out there. There's some nasty things out there, yes. We kind of cover those too. Most of those are historic things. However, we're not going to deny that history happened. We're not going to deny that we need to do better. We're not going to deny that we aren't all going to see eye to eye all the time. And that's okay. That's okay. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to cuss. We're not going to threaten. We're not going to do anything violent. And we're not going to be weird to one another just in general. Like if you go to someone else's page because you don't like what they said and you then stalk them, that's what it is. It's stalking them. When you go from one place to the next, it's technically stalking. When you stalk them to go above and beyond, you are the problem, not the solution, and I don't have time for that. A lot of people will just avoid their comment section altogether. I have seen many times that there are people who say, just don't answer the comments. Don't look at them. And I think that that's valid, and I understand completely why they say that. I think, though, that sometimes that also does a disservice to your personal page and the connections that you have. So I always do try to talk to my audience as much as I possibly can still. I think it's super important because we all got here together. Like, we didn't just pop up into the universe. I have a slow grow channel, so we've been going at this for a while. So I like to talk to you guys. However, whenever there's bad stuff, we're not doing that. No, we are not. Just to kind of give you guys an idea as to some of the things that I have received on my channel, because normally I don't talk about this. Normally I do just blow it off and let it go into the wind. However, I have had someone physically threaten violence against another human on one of my videos in a very bad way. I asked the person if she wanted me to pursue it. It was that bad. And she was like, I don't know. So I screenshot it and went ahead and pursued it. I'm not going to have people who just like randomly think it's okay to harm one another. We're just not doing that. People do get blocked. However, before I block them, I make sure that I document everything that they have said, just in case they do become a problematic person. I think that that's very important, especially when it is a racially motivated piece of violence, which there is a lot of, because I do cover a lot of sites that have a lot of historic reference. I never thought history was going to be so controversial until suddenly, all of a sudden, I started getting these weird comments on things, and it was just like, really? Oh my goodness, wow, I am just this one little traveling girl who's bopping around going to historic things, talking about brain wrinkles, and then you chose violence. Wow, okay. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. Also, we're not gonna have threats of violence to my family. That is a big no-no. That happened recently to a lot of creators. We've been seeing it more and more. In fact, people are starting to call people out by putting their actual, like, doxing stuff on there, and we're not gonna do that here. No, I'm not going to have to do a post where I call someone out because they threaten violence against my family. We're not. If anybody watches larger creators, there was one particular larger creator recently that was brought to my attention that had to post something because people threatened physical violence against her family. She's just a girl on the internet. She's just living her life. And then all of a sudden someone is so offended that they were just like, murder, murder, kill, kill, violence, violence. Like, why? Like, what is wrong with people? So again, we do block, we do limit certain words. I have blocked all like curse words. Curse words will not appear. I have to approve them to appear. They're just not. I also recently had to to block external links. If you do put a link on there and it's something that relates, I can't approve it. It doesn't not go somewhere. It goes to a little queue, but I do have to approve it. And I did that because people were starting to pop up with telegrams, which are not me. I will never approach you on Telegram, by the way, guys. Never, never, never. I do have a Telegram. I do not use it for anything that has to do with YouTube or anything else. I use it to talk to friends, and that's about it. I will never, ever approach you with an external site in the comments that has a porn link on it, because that's been happening a lot on a lot of pages, and so we just blocked all links. Yeah. So if you do still comment and you don't see your comment pop up, it could be YouTube, because YouTube is weird. It could be because it has just one of the trigger words in there, and I usually will approve all comments unless they do have cursing or bad links in them. Let's see, people are cowards, they hide behind the screen. A lot of times they do. And you know, I've learned that a lot of times those are the people who have lower self-esteem. They just do. And I don't mean that in like a mean way toward people with low self-esteem, because I feel like that kind of puts them in a category that they kind of are the bad part of that category. But at the same time, like, I think that a lot of people who sit there and are internet gangsters just have nothing better to do, and that's what they do. Again, I do not lose sleep over them at all. I want them to fully understand that it's just not going to go anywhere. I am not the one. There are lots of people out there who would probably love to engage, but in order for me to engage, you're going to have to say something pretty nasty. I'm going to put it down, drop the mic, and walk away as I block you. The end. Otherwise, though, I think this has been just like an interesting little rant, which wasn't set out to be a rant. It was more so a cautionary tale, but at the same time, I think all of these things are super relevant to what's happening in the world of YouTube right now, especially for content creators like myself. And, you know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this is where we're at, but at the same time, you know, every so often we just need to have a conversation. And for all of you who have been here since the beginning, you get to see this like ranty side. That's a new side, right? But at the same time, this is me. Like someone said earlier, I'm a protector. I don't like anything to happen to people who matter to me. I always am very loyal to my friends, and that includes you guys here. I don't want anything to happen where people are disloyal or dishonest and they take advantage of you guys. I don't think that that's okay, and I have a large enough platform, even though it's a small platform in the grand scheme, to speak out. And so I am, because it's not right for you guys to be put in these positions where you feel like you are taken advantage of by other creators. Thank you, Dandy Dan. We're gonna get another drink because we've been going for a minute there. Anyway, so let's see. Riley's in the chat, Brock's in the chat, or he was, I don't know if he still is. Susan, Dandy Dan, Teresa, Sheila, Kimberly, of course Tina's in here, Michelle, Rachel, thank you so much for the belated birthday. Patrick, hi. Let's see. There are a lot of you guys in here. Thank you guys so much for coming out to my live. I appreciate you. Again, I know I've been kind of off with the lives. My signal has not been great in Arizona. I don't know why. In Phoenix, like, I've been staying outside of the Phoenix area, and I will have 3 bars and nothing working. I don't get it. Plus, I've entered into this new section where I get 5G plus. I don't know what 5G plus is, but 5G plus does not work hardly at all. So it is what it is, but I am hoping to get back on track with my monthly lives. So yay, and maybe they'll be more pleasant and not ranty. Woot woot. Thank you so much, Dandy Dan. I try to make it interesting by sharing a lot of different kinds of adventures. My goal always has been to share adventures and hoping to encourage others to get out there and live life more fully. Sometimes that means that people can get out just for a weekend and go someplace from their sticks and bricks, and that's valid too. It doesn't have to be like a whole van journey. It can be something small. Small things get you a bigger result in the long run, doing a few small things here and there. My wrist is healed. Figured out that it was because I sleep really funny. And so I basically slept like this. I don't even know how to explain it. Or like this. I'm not sure which direction it was. I know that I woke up one morning though, and it was aching after, and I was like laying in a funny way. So I'm assuming that's what I did. I probably put pressure on it funny, but it is definitely feeling better. We have 2 functioning wrists again. Thank goodness, because that was not fun. Let's see. You love to see the side of me roar. So this is the interesting thing. Anyone who is in my direct friend circle knows that I am a fierce defender of good. I know that sounds super silly, like a Marvel cartoon or comic, but at the same time, I really do. I do not like when people take advantage of other people. I do not like when people exploit people. I do not like when people use others. I very much so am against that. I think that in my previous life, before I started my van journey, I was much more timid sometimes, and I would allow people to kind of push my buttons because I had to, because I worked in customer service. And after being in that and like relinquishing that bit of stress, I realized just how many people really are affected by people who are dishonest, who take advantage, who do all these things. And I was just like, I am not the one anymore. I'm not doing this. Like, I don't have to do this. Like, there is no point in me doing this. So what I'm going to do instead is I am going to stand up for the things that are important. And the things that are important could be that somebody just like says something weird. Or it could be that somebody treats somebody in the service industry badly. I don't like that at all, because if you've never worked in customer service, you don't know. It is really hard and it is not fun. So if somebody is rude to people or something like that, I also don't like whenever people put you in the middle of their drama for no reason. It's not okay to drag someone in and then treat them badly. It's just not. So I always want to be that person who carries that flag to defend others. And I think that that's really important. And the bigger that the platform becomes, the better that I can do that, because then I have other people out there who can hear that voice and realize, hey, yeah, maybe this is a thought. And my goal is always to inspire others to do something. So my goal of this is to always start the dominoes. One act of kindness can trigger so many others. It's a ripple of people. But also, your act of standing up for what is right can also be a ripple and make the world a better place. It's very important to get to a place where we all realize that the world around us has been weird. A bunch of stuff has happened. There's nothing we can do about it except for what we physically are doing right now. And so we need to be advocates for better stuff to happen. And that's across the board. That's not a political statement. That is not a statement about just like one instance. That is every single thing. Oh my goodness, I need a sticker that says Bunny Roars. Maybe, that could be super fun actually. I do need to get my drawing tablet out and work on it a little bit. I'm working on a secondary children's book. Speaking of which, guys, I actually have a children's book that I launched. I haven't put it out on my channel yet. At some point I will, but my goal through my children's book series is to kind of give brain wrinkles to kids, because I think it's really important to start young, but also to talk about topics like these in a way that kids can understand, to make it where they understand that it's okay to stand up for yourself but not be a bully. It's okay for you to enjoy yourself but be kind and things like that. So that's what my children's book series will be about. So I have one that's already ready. Eventually I'll share it with you guys. It'll be cool. It's called Sammy's Slug. Ooh, ooh. Hear Bunny Roar. That could be a cute book actually. That could be a super cute book. Let's see. Oh no, Teresa, you are supposed to be getting better, not worse. That's bad. That's bad. A new channel, Bunny Roars. Just me going on and ranting. I mean, that could get me in trouble though, because I will rant for some things. Now this channel specifically, I like to do fairness and things like that, but at the same time I keep it pretty basic with the educational stuff and the advanced stuff. If I got over there, I'd be on a topic and be just like boom, 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 boom. People would be scared. Let's see. Oh, Debbie, we're happy that you were able to catch it too. Definitely. Oh my goodness, Catherine, how did you last 30 years? That's all I can say. 30 years in customer service, that deserves actual awards, because customer service is hard. Anybody who's worked in the food service industry or customer service, you all are the real MVPs of like the whole wide world around us. Because like, okay, let me tell you guys my fun story about customer service. Right before I started my travels, I worked in the tanning industry, and then also I managed a lash studio. And those were my like regular jobs that I had right before this. In the tanning industry, it was a mile a minute of fun, let me tell you. If you've never worked at a tanning salon before, sounds super simple, sounds super easy. That's why it makes even less sense when people go crazy for no reason whatsoever. And then also people do really foul things at a tanning salon. They just do. It's gross. And it really made me respect the people who are in that service industry specifically, just for the amount that they put up with. But then when I went to work at the lash studio, that was the most interesting, because I loved everyone that I worked with. They were all fabulous. However, the customers there would get so angry over eyelashes, guys, eyelashes. And so the amount of people who would just like lose their marbles over eyelashes and be so horrible to people, not like even just like I'm not happy, like it wouldn't even be about their lashes themselves. It'd be like they're trying to book an appointment and they're mad, like from the beginning, like so mad. And so after that I was just like, you know what, guys, I don't need to do customer service anymore, because if eyelashes are that serious to you that you feel like you need to be someone who is very undesirable, we'll just put it that way because there's no nice way to say it, they were just mean, then yeah, maybe, just maybe you should take a time out from like all of life, just for a few minutes, and just breathe and put your life together so that that isn't the worst thing that's happening in the world. Just saying. Let's see, I have a couple others in here. Do I have a Patreon? Yes, I do. It's just Bunny Plays here as well. Usually it's linked in the description. I'm not sure if it copied over though, but it may be down there. Sorry I had to deal with the craziness. It's okay. Like, that's part of life. I am a person who lets things roll a lot. I think the reason why I kind of took up this flag today is because I can deal with things and I can move through things. However, a lot of people, whenever they feel so defeated, it's very hard to then roll through that and move on to the next part. And that's kind of where this email was today. It was a very unfortunate email. It was super, super sad. I felt so bad for the woman. And if she is watching this right now, I'm sorry that I'm talking about this right now, but I felt like more people needed to know about the situation. It's not okay. Again, I won't share any names or anything like that, but when someone feels like they have put every bit of energy that they have into something and they're hoping to get some kind of result of just, and she wasn't even wanting like a big result. She wasn't even thinking she was going to get 1 million subscribers or even 100,000 subscribers or even 100 subscribers. She was just trying to figure out the basics of doing YouTube. That was it. And this guy scammed her $600. Wow. She felt so defeated. She had invested in this as her next part of life endeavor. And when this happened, it was just a kick in the face to her, basically. And the way she described it, it sounded very sad and very isolating and very much so like she just felt deflated, like she couldn't do it now. And I wanted to make sure that she knew she can do this. She doesn't have to worry about, you know, what's happened. She can move forward and she doesn't have to spend anything to do it. YouTube is free, guys, unless you do YouTube Red or Prime or whatever it is. Riley does it. I don't do that, clearly. But you can do YouTube for free. You don't have to do everything and be doing the most. And so anyone who wants to do YouTube, I encourage you to do it for yourself. Let's see. Sweet dreams. And also thank you for the $20. I'm doing the, I'm on my phone, so I don't have the accessibility to like all the cool stuff. So we're just going to do all of the fun things. Oh, and we can do a bunny hop too. Boop, 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 boop. This has been one of the best investments ever. You can't be stressed out whenever you have a bunny finger puppet. I'm just saying, you instantly become a child. As soon as you put this on, it's like, hey, yeah, I'm going to put it back so that we can accomplish our goals, because otherwise I'll play with it for the rest of the day. Let's see. It was the most random number. That was the strangest thing. $600. Like, I'm confused as to where the $600 came from. I'm also confused as to what bill that person has at $600. Because that, in my opinion, is why you would have that particular number. Because that number otherwise makes 0 sense. I have seen mentoring programs from very large channels, and those large channels all were doing things that were actually documentable. Like, they have results from people. They have the tiers of what you get with this. They have mentoring actually one-on-one, and they were less than $600. So I'm super confused as to what this one individual had sold the dream of, and I really, as much as I don't want to know who it was, because if I saw them I would be very angry, I also would love to know who it was, because interesting. I would love to know who it was that's got $600 in bills they suddenly magically need to pay at the cost of others. Thank you so much for the coffee. I definitely will have that coffee whenever I get back to town, because that's where I work. In fact, at the Phoenix Starbucks that I've been going to, they were so cool. Like, I went in there like in the mornings. So I kind of have been doing this really interesting schedule while I've been in the Phoenix area. So as many of you know, Riley was here with me for a little while, and then we left, and then whenever I came back I had a lot of activities I wanted to do. Well, I also have to do videos, so I would balance my time between Starbucks in the morning and then afternoon adventures whenever Aussie Van Man would go with me, or if he wasn't going with me, I'd do morning adventures and then I'd do like afternoon Starbucksy time. So it helps me a lot to get ahead. So that's why I was able to get all the way ahead until next Tuesday, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot of videos, guys. But I also have a couple of other things that are shot that I can go ahead and start editing from these adventures. But we're going to go out on an epic little road trip for the next few days to see some other things that I'm very excited to see that I didn't get to see last time because the weather was bad. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Remember when you were using the stuffed rabbit to run from the snake? Yes. Yes, I do. And the stuffed rabbit still is afraid of snakes with me. It just is. Whoop. Yeah, that was me. That was me all in the Pacific Northwest. Speaking of snakes, snake season is upon us now. It's starting to get warmer in a lot of places. So if you are out hiking, be careful, please. Today's video, I mentioned that a little bit, but I've started seeing pictures of snakes popping up on Facebook, which for anyone who doesn't know me like in real life land, I don't think you understand. Just the mere picture of a snake freaks me out. I instantly have to scroll away. It's bad. It's bad. I have a real actual phobia. So I've been seeing a lot more of that. And so if you're in a place, be careful, please. The most recent one that I saw was this massive, scary snake in Florida that was not in an area that normally has rattlesnakes, but it was a rattlesnake, and the thing was like this big. It had been eating some stuff. So watch out. Just watch out, please. Let's see. Lots of people in here also do not love snakes. I appreciate you guys for that. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna do a couple more little catch-ups real quick, and then I'm gonna run in to take a shower because, well, I need a shower. My hair is starting to get a little less of the pink, as you can see. I'm trying to run a full course of this just to see how long that it takes for it to come completely out. Just so that I'll have a reference, because, you know, I did do a tri-channel video for it about how it would stick with me. I've washed my hair like so many times, and this is a semi-permanent, and it is still there. It's not as vibrant, but it is still in fact there. I'm like that about spiders. I don't like spiders either. My dad actually got bit by a brown recluse, so after that I'm just kind of like, nope, they're no good either. No snakes in Hawaii. Nice. I also learned that Ireland has no predatory animals. I want to go there real bad. Bluebonnets are blooming and the rattlers are slithering. Yes, I've been seeing lots of people taking their family portraits in the bluebonnets, and that's all I can think of now after seeing the dancing rattlers through the bluebonnets that happened a couple years ago at Big Bend. Like, not cool, not cool. Let's see. There were a couple of other things that I did want to talk about before I head out, though. So I'm trying to think. I should have written these down. I'm really bad at not writing things down sometimes. I'm going to be adding a few more tips on my community tab for those people who are wanting to do YouTube, kind of circling full circle back. I did 10 today. I don't know when the next set will go out, but just keep watching my community tab and I'll keep posting some like free tips. Little things that might be helpful. As I kind of rack my brain as to things that I had to learn the hard way, I'll share those with you because there's been some things. Oh, here's a good one for you guys. If you are starting out on YouTube and you start receiving emails from people that are trying to like tell you, oh, we'll help grow your channel, don't do it. Don't do it. I didn't have to learn this the hard way. However, someone that I know did, and they were like, oh yeah, it's like a management company that's going to help produce like ads and stuff for my thing. No. What they're doing is they're doing bot followers, and bot followers are bad. That's the fastest way to tank your channel. This particular person didn't understand that. They went ahead and let this management company do this, and they started growing astronomically, which is awesome, except for it wasn't, because what happened was it was not real engagement. And so the real engagement was getting less and less because YouTube was seeing people weren't really engaging with it. It was like fake engagement. And so it was just tanking their channel down slowly. And so by the time that they got to this place where they were like, yes, I'm finally to a place that I can monetize, they weren't approved for monetization. And so don't do that. That's another thing that a lot of people will try to trick you into doing because they sound official. They have really official looking emails and things like that, but they're not. Don't do that, guys. Let's see. Bunny, did you remember eat today? Yes, I did. I ate today. I had my spinach feta wrap, which is my favorite thing to eat at Starbucks. It's good. I don't really like eggs, but that's the one way I like eggs. Don't understand it. It's fine. Let's see. Lots of more snake comments. Another thing that I would definitely encourage you guys not to do if you're wanting to do YouTube is do not worry about the follow for follow. A lot of people, whenever they first start out, think that the number needs to get to a certain point, certain speed. They have an idea in their mind, and realistically, YouTube, anytime we have a plan, they laugh. I'm just saying. Follow for follow is really bad too. Again, it's about engagement. So YouTube rewards people who are persistent, consistent, and who will stay the course and do the right thing. So whenever you are wanting to get your channel out there, you can post it on several boards and things like that. Facebook's a great place for you to cross post your videos. There's a variety of different message boards for traveling or for van life, and a lot of them will let you post there so people can come and organically see your things. I do encourage you guys also to check out Fit for Expedition. He has a message board for all travelers. It's a great place to find some really cool places. I'm just going to tell you that. But it's also a good community place for everyone to sit and chat about various things. So go check that out. But if you are there to a place where you're putting out a video and then you get 5 views, I've been there, I understand. It's normal. It's normal to not start off with 1 million views on a video. Instead of saying, oh, I'll watch your video if you watch my video, I'll follow you if you follow me, don't do that. Because again, those viewers and those people who are following aren't necessarily going to consistently watch all of your things. They might watch that video, or they might follow and then never re-engage just because they're trying to get a number 2. And what that does is it shows YouTube then that you have this follower who's a dead follower, who's not looking at any of your things. So it stops giving them your videos altogether. But also it's showing that that particular person, because they're not interested, your content must not be that interesting. So it's gonna serve it to less new people. So don't follow for follow, don't like for like, don't sub for sub, don't view for view. Don't do those things. Let's see. We do help remind each other to eat because we get really super busy. It's bad. Like on a day that's an adventure day, man, I may shoot 4 videos in a day sometimes because I'm going, and I want each thing to have its moment to shine. So when Riley and I are traveling together, we either set a timer or like, oh my gosh, we should probably eat. Right now, Aussie Van Man, he's the same way. He's like, hey, you should probably eat something, because he's understanding the fact that I just go, I don't stop. The version of me that you guys get like right here, right now, this is the intensity for which I tackle most days unless I don't feel well, in which case, as long as I have energy, we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going until I run out of energy, and then I sleep. That's it. I'm very high energy. If I should ever get fortunate enough to get followers, great. If not, that's a good philosophy to have. Now, I know a lot of people want to get larger because they want to make money on YouTube, and it takes 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, which sounds daunting. However, staying the course is going to net you better results overall. As soon as you get to that 1,000, you know that you got to that 1,000 on purpose, that you did everything that you needed to do to get there, and that it's much more rewarding of a feeling to know that you did it the right way, because you're instantly rewarded with a higher CPM whenever you do. You're instantly rewarded with more people seeing your content. If you artificially manufacture those numbers, what happens is when you get there, they're not going to serve your content to anyone. So you're always going to have to be keeping up with the Joneses to try to continue to push your channel. And then that's not fun. No one wants to have to work that hard just to exist. So instead, just do it the right way, and then you can be in the grind with everyone else. And even though it is a grind, it's still your grind that you're doing with purpose, with intention, and then also because you enjoy it. If you had to work so hard and you hate every part of what you do, it's not worth it. Speaking of Greg, Fit for Expedition, I just mentioned you, Greg. I just told everybody to go over your Facebook group. Let's see. The trio. Are you talking about me, Riley, and Brock? We are an excellent trio. We are like the 3 Musketeers. In fact, I'm super excited about some things that we're working on kind of behind the scenes right now. Can I bottle the energy? I wish. If I could figure out how to do that, that could be epic. No, I've always been this way though. My mom is not in here right now, but if she was, she would probably tell you that whenever I was a kid, you know, whenever you're in the hospital and you're supposed to be just, ooh, ah, yay. I was the kid who was like trying to push up out of my little crib to see what's going on. I had a bassinet when I was little. I didn't like to be in it. I wanted to be out and about exploring. I had a jumper. It was my favorite toy on earth. When I was a kid, I would just jump. Like, they would have to make me stop because I would do it for hours if I could. Am I still in Arizona? Yes, I am. Let's see. Oh, Chloe and Kyle, hi. Yep, that's the thing. It's like it's just me. It's a little intense sometimes. And I know that, again, as I said in the beginning of the video, I know I am not for everyone because I am all over the place, and that's okay. Like, it's okay. Authentic me is a lot sometimes. And you know, the people who want to be around my lot, that's fine. And the people who don't, that's okay too. Like there's nothing wrong with not wanting to be high energy all the time. I get that. Let's see. Oh, we worry what's wrong. Don't worry. We just all travel differently sometimes. Whenever I traveled for the first 3 years, I didn't travel with anyone else that like had a van or did anything like that. I would occasionally have a friend on a journey with me for like a week and that's it. So for the most part, I was a solo traveler completely. And then whenever I met my friends, I would travel with them. Like you've seen me travel with Dee, you've seen me travel with Riley, I've traveled with Brock, I've traveled with several other people, but like I enjoy the company of other people now because first and foremost, they do what I do, so it makes sense, and I'm not just talking to my hand. I used to joke all the time. In fact, I joke still with my mom that when people would ask me how I produce the videos, this is my camera crew right here. This is it right here. And, you know, we have to have all these guys for the videos to work, but this was literally how I spoke to the world for all this time. And for the longest time when I was traveling by myself, this was my only company right here. That was it. Talking to myself. And then every so often I would go into town and I'd be like, ooh, people, yay, I can talk to somebody else. But now I have people who get what I'm doing. We have Sarah and Aaron in here. We have colleague Kyle. We have Riley. We have Brock. Greg's in here. Like all these people are people that I have collaborated with. And, you know, it's really nice to have people who kind of understand what it is that we're doing kind of as a group. And so I get to hang out with people who also do what I do. Who couldn't like ask for more on that one? How much money will I need to live the nomad life? Okay, so this is the thing. Every person is a little bit different. I'm about to do a budget video. In fact, I documented my finances for 1 calendar month, and this was kind of a weird month. This was me driving a lot. This was me doing a lot more like eating out and stuff like that because I was in transit. The weather was weird. So I'm going to be sharing that probably next week, if not the week after, just to kind of give everybody an idea as to how much I personally spent during that month. Now, there will be a few caveats in there for the bills that I do have versus what you might have, but it really depends on how you want to live your van journey. I do a ton of attractions, which means I spend a lot more money than an average person who's just camping in one place for 2 weeks. And I'm very realistic about that. Like I'm going nonstop. I am trying out different places to eat. I am trying out museums, going to theme parks. So all of those things are expenses that are going to make my budget very different than a person who is just kind of chilling. And some people like to chill and some people like to go nonstop. So it's really up to how your journey goes. But I will make sure that I post that and you can kind of see what it is. Have I thought about getting Starlink? Yes, I have thought about it a lot, especially in places that I struggle with internet. The startup on Starlink is really expensive. However, I think that the value that it would have would be expansive for me. In fact, this past week, I'd really started to consider that a little bit more. So if I make a little extra money, maybe we'll kind of tackle that. That would also help me fix a really big problem that I have when I'm at my base camp, which is that our internet is bad there. We have very rural service and we're kind of in a weird like dip down, and so the service is bad, not good. So if I could get Starlink and that would fix the issue that I have at base camp as well as on the road, that could be a game changer in so many ways. But right now it's just me and a Starbucks, and I'm pretty sure that the expenses that I have at Starbucks would get pretty close to that of Starlink at some point. I'm just saying. Especially considering I have to drive to Starbucks. We're having gas, we're having the actual, you have to purchase something to be there. I'm usually there for a long time. So, you know, I'm gonna start weighing out that. How do I deal with the heat? I usually travel with the weather as much as I possibly can. When I can't travel with the weather, I usually have various things. So I have an air conditioner that goes into my van. It works pretty well for my small space. I also have a cooling blanket, and then I have several other cooling devices that I can use in the van also. Oh, thank you so much, Ozzy. I'm super close. I'm so excited. It has been a long time working on that number, but at the same time, I am so thankful for each and every person who supports my channel, especially those who have been here since the very beginning when it wasn't great. I appreciate each and every one of those people along the way, and it's been great because along the way I've gotten to know so many interesting people as a result of the comments section and then also some of the events that I've gone to. Let's see. Where do people go for the cooler months? Arizona is a big one. A lot of people come to Arizona because the weather is usually pretty decent. A lot of people go to Quartzsite in January, the Phoenix area, Tucson, places like that. Good places to come. Right now it's still been very nice. In fact, it's just now starting to teeter onto the warm time also. Starlink is transferable. Interesting. That's something to look into also. Let's see. I would be doing the cheaper one as opposed to the other one because I don't want it to stay fixed onto my van. I want to be able to move it simply because then I can use it for base camp. I have an RV and 2 dogs. I travel by myself, but would love to find people to travel with. Okay, so Linda, the best thing that you can do is look up women's groups, travel groups, events. Those are great places to meet new people and then also have that security and safety of being camping together, because that's one of the things that I don't think a lot of people understand. Whenever they're trying to find a travel group, sometimes there is this like, I don't know you moment within every person, and then having that comfort of having a common ground, like a group place that people can collect and meet, it takes away some of that because you're in a safe space around other people. And so when you're first starting out, any of those things, the women's group on Facebook, super good because there's a lot of supportive women there, but they also have group camps. The events, there's a lot of events that are going on kind of throughout the country at any given time that again give you that support so that you can meet people but also have that safety and security of getting to know them in a group setting. So then you can find out, oh, do I feel safe, comfortable, and like I should camp with this person individually? And if you do, then you can. But that way you don't have to feel that, oh, I don't know about this. I know that there's a lot of people who describe it in a lot of different ways. One of the ways that I've heard somebody describe it is they don't want to eat. Literally, that's how they described it. I was like, I get that. I totally get that, because you never know who you're meeting, especially with all the crime dramas that are out there. So having a group setting can make all the difference. There is a women's group for married women that have husbands. Yes. So that's another good outlet. Like if you find people who have similarities within how you are, how you travel, how you feel, or what you're looking for, those are going to be more comfortable for you, and then it'll be so much easier. Let's see. What was the name of the restaurant in Bisbee that you ate at? Okay, so I ate at a lot of different ones. There is no bad option in Bisbee. You have to go to the patisserie. Patisserie is so good. It's just really delicious. There is the Bisbee Breakfast Club is really yummy, but it's out by the Lowell area. So if you want to see historic Lowell, that's a great place to have some breakfast. And then there's also a couple of other places that are in the downtown corridor. There's a vegan restaurant that's so good. They have delicious vegan nachos, and I'm not even vegan. And then there's a couple of other places also that I think you'd really like. Guys, Aussie Van Man just pulled up. We're about to go on our little adventure today. We're going to Tulsa, or not Tulsa, Tucson. Hi, friend.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody asked, let's see, where did it go? Oh no, I lost it. How did I meet the group of people that I travel with now? How did I meet you, Brock?
Bisbee, Arizona.
We went to a meetup. So I met Riley, Dee, and Dawn at Gutted, which was a meetup. It was a big event. And then I also met Collie and Kyle there. And then I met Sarah and Aaron whenever we were in Quartzsite. And that was for the RTRW. We were camped out there. Let's see, I met this guy as well as Christine, Charles, Tony, which technically I met Charles and Tony before, but I didn't remember it because it was so brief. Charles, Tony, Christine, and let's see, Daryl, all at Bisbee. And then I met Dan at Weird Wild West. Yeah, so I mean, just all over the place. You collect your people as you go, kind of. What's up, Brock? Greg says hi.
Hello, Mr. Greg.
Debbie says hi, Brock. Good to see you too.
Hello, everybody.
We should record a podcast. Yes. Bisbee is my goal. Bisbee's super fun. You'll really enjoy it. It's super van friendly. It's very cool. They have tons of stuff going on at any given time. The art there is amazing. Take your time. Take your time. Colleen and Kyle say, hey, Ozzy.
Hey, guys.
But yes, okay. So I have had a full-on rant today. I've talked to you guys about some normal things. Teresa says, hi, mountain goat friend.
That is me.
But now, with all that said, I want to wrap this up. I am going to post this so everyone can watch this kind of in the replay that didn't get a chance to. Again, if you are interested in doing YouTube, do not pay someone to get started. There are so many free resources. I'm going to be continuing to post several of them on my community tab. I want to make sure that you guys are able to express yourselves and do cool things, but also not feel overwhelmed. But at the same time, there's enough space for all of us. It's not a competition. It's also not a sprint. It's a marathon. So be prepared if you're wanting to do YouTube to dig in. And I'm gonna go figure out where we're going because yeah, we have to drive like 2.5 hours still. Yay! Until next time, guys, thanks again, and I'll see you later.